It is Tuesday morning, July 21st. This past big I got my cup of coffee and I have my Bible. And this morning I just want to share with you what I was reading today. Because sometimes as we're reading, we just need to stop and listen to what God is trying to say to us. So this morning I'm on the book of Nehemiah. I'm making my way through my 12th time this year. And so I'm on the book of Nehemiah. And Nehemiah is he's a cupbearer for the king. And he gets news that the walls of Jerusalem are all torn down. And the people are in great trouble. And this breaks the heart of Nehemiah. And so when he goes in front of the king, and now he's in front of the king, and the king notices him, that he's sad. But it's not a sadness because he's sick. He's just sad because his heart is troubled. And so he tells the king that he wants to go and see and inspect the walls of Jerusalem. And so the king gives him permission to go. And in fact, this is something that God has put on his heart, because in chapter 2, verse 12, it says, "Then I arose in the night, I and a few men with me, and I told no one what my God had put into my heart to do for Jerusalem." So this is something that God just put onto the heart of Nehemiah, and we have some geese flying overhead. Yeah, you see, that's awesome. Just to be able to be outside in the morning and to hear something like that. So that's pretty awesome. Stop me for a second there. But when you hear that God had put something on Nehemiah's heart to do something, and I don't know what God might put on your heart, but if God has put something on your heart and he has just laid it on your heart and you are burdened for that, he has given you a motivation for that and strength for that, go about doing it. Get out there and go do it. So Nehemiah, he makes his way to Jerusalem. He goes out and he inspects the walls, and he realizes it's bad and the people are in great trouble. And so he decides to get up and tell everybody, hey, it's time to go to work. It's time to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And so they begin to do this work, but when they begin to do this work, there becomes opposition. A couple of people, are just adamant that Nehemiah needs to stop, because they're upset that someone would want to do good. So they're upset that someone would want to do good, and they're trying to stop him. They're trying to discourage him. They're trying to scare him. And so listen to the discouragement that they try and put on him. In chapter 4, we're told, "Now when Sanballat heard that we were building the wall, he was angry and greatly enraged, and he jeered at the Jews. And he said in the presence of his brothers and of the army of Samaria, 'What are these feeble Jews doing? Will they restore it for themselves? Will they sacrifice? Will they finish up in a day? Will they receive the stones out of the heaps of rubbish, and burned ones at that?' Tobiah the Ammonite was beside him and said, 'Yes, what they are building, if a fox goes up on it, it will break down their stone wall.'" And so they were trying to discourage them. They had an army that was around them. The army of Samaria was around them. And they had these two guys that just ridiculed them and mocked them. And this was in order to try and discourage them from accomplishing the task in which God had laid upon his heart to do. And I want you to realize that if God lays something upon your heart, there's going to come some people that are going to try and discourage you from doing what God has laid upon your heart to do. And that's going to happen every single time. But there was something really funny that takes place in chapter 6. In chapter 6, they're going to finish this wall, by the way. And they're going to finish it in an amazing time. They're going to build the wall around Jerusalem in 52 days. 52 days they're going to build this wall. But they're going so fast in building the wall. And so this group, this angry group, they're going to try and slow them down. And so here's how they try and slow them down. It's chapter 6, verse 1 through 3. And it just something I wanted to share with you today. So it says, now when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem, so now we add another, the Arab, and the rest of our enemies heard that I had built the wall, and that there was no breach left in it, although to that time I had not yet set the doors and the gates. Sanballat and Geshem sent to me, saying, come and let us meet together at Hakkephirim in the plain of Ono. When you hear the word Ono, you ought to just hear, oh no. He says, but they intended to do me harm. So listen to verse 3. And I sent messengers to them saying, I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down. Why should the work stop while I leave it and come down to you? And so I just want you guys to be encouraged by those words of Nehemiah, because the enemy, they were trying to discourage him. They were trying to tell him it's an impossible task. He's not going to be able to do it, and it's going to fall down. It's not going to be very stable. It's going to be a terrible job. But God had laid it on his heart. And so he kept pressing on. And then they wanted to try and intimidate him anymore. Hey, why don't you come down and meet with us? Let's meet together. Let's all talk about this. And Nehemiah's like, hold up. Why should I stop doing the work that I'm doing in order to come down to you? I think it's Galatians. Let me turn here to Galatians chapter 6. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And I want to close with this little verse. He says, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Verse 10. So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to everyone, and especially those who are of the household of faith. I just wanted to share those words of encouragement with you today because I don't know what God has laid upon your heart. And if God has laid it upon your heart, then I want you to realize that there are going to come oppositions. People are going to come and they're going to try and discourage you. They're going to try and slow you down. But if Paul is right in Galatians, do not become weary in doing good. Do not give up doing the good that God has laid upon your heart to do. Be encouraged, be motivated, and press on and finish whatever God has put upon your heart to finish. We are living in some very discouraging times. I can imagine that there are things that you are facing every day with the pandemic, maybe with the job, or maybe getting frustrated having to go to the stores with a mask on your face or whatever. I want to tell you a small little joke here, but my birthday is on Halloween. My birthday is October 31st. And so I posted on Facebook the other day that I remember when everybody wore a mask on my birthday. But at least at that time, we would get candy out of it. But now it's frustrating, right? It can be discouraging to just see all the regulations and restrictions that everybody just seems to be putting on us. And so I know that we're living in discouraging times. But I want you to be encouraged today. I don't want you to give up doing good, because we're all gonna reap a good harvest if we don't give up doing what we're supposed to be doing. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. I did have to put my comment section on review comments first, and this is good for two reasons. Number one, it allows me to prevent comments that are negative comments. Negative, not negative towards me. I allow those negative comments towards me, or people that are questioning something that I listed in the video, okay? and it gives me a chance to respond to them. But the second reason that I put a limit on the review on those comments is because it allows me to see those comments so that I can reply to you and let you know that I have read your comments now, and that I have seen it. And if you have a prayer request, you'll know if your comment gets approved, it means that I've read it. And if you have a prayer request, I've prayed for that, okay? If you have a question on the Bible, or on the question on what I just taught, or anything that I was teaching in the Bible, you leave that question in that comment section, and it allows me to make sure that I see it and that I reply and respond to that question. So thank you so much for watching my videos. Leave a comment, and I appreciate the comments, and I will respond to those comments. Also, like the video, share the video. I just want to be a word of encouragement today. Hopefully I'll be able to post an encouraging word on TikTok this morning as well, but maybe you saw that one before you'll see this one, so it doesn't really matter. Just thank you so much for following me, being my friend, and I pray, as always, that you have a blessed and amazing day.